Hello, adventurers! You are adventurers.
Yeah,
Hi, everybody.
we're adventurers.
Welcome.
Hi, adventurers.
Hello, adventurers.
Adventuring.
Happy Oscar night for those of you that have no interest in watching the Oscars whatsoever.
We're here.
We're here. Welcome to Indigo Chameleon, the Indigo Playroom. Normally we have like a big old table set up and all sorts of stuff, but we had a couple of issues. We had a couple of things like we're a little overbooked for tonight, and we're
Oh
like,
my gosh, we did a brand new escape room. We beta tested it, and it was so cool.
I wasn't gonna tell them.
You weren't gonna tell them?
I was gonna wait until the escape room opened.
Okay, we're gonna tell you about it later. We can't tell you about it now, but it was really cool.
No, we have to. You bury the lead. We did an escape room tonight. It was really cool. It was this brand new escape room, and yes, we got to beta test this amazing sort of cool new escape room, and had some really unique and interesting puzzles to it. So that was kind of cool. And then
very non-typical, non-traditional
escape room. So we just with everything going on tonight and Oscars and stuff like that, we thought we'd...
So we've got a new little quirky little setup for just two people. We've got just us,
Look at this
camera,
babe.
and a table, and I can flip
Ollie.
back and forth. Hi. And we can be like, oh, look at what's on the table. There's nothing on the table right now. Oh, now, oops, sorry, see?
Wow.
Now, oh, there's
so
a
dramatic.
card. Oh, look at that. Bam, bam, bam. It's crazy. Anyway, so, yeah, we've got that.
But we hope you guys are having a good night. As always, we're going to start the show with just a couple of announcements. Because one, I don't think there's a ton of people watching that aren't kept abreast of the schedule here at the Indigo Chameleon, So Tuesday night we have Wonder. It's our 5e D&D game set in Wonderland. Some cool stuff. We've got a special promo/giveaway.
That's right.
On Tuesday.
Eek.
So it's a lot of fun stuff. It'll chance for you to save some cash, which is good.
Hi, One Big Uno.
Dear Diary, One Big Uno.
Oh my gosh.
We've got that going on Tuesday. Creative Chaos is still on Thursday. Actually, I need your guys' help for this. Maybe you can help me out with this. Hello. Is that Moswell?
Moswell. And meow it. Oh my gosh.
So
some of our favorite
I had this
people.
idea. I noticed that there's a lot of people in our lives that are always like, oh, you guys play D&D. I've always wanted to play D&D. And I had this idea of like, what if we had like a beginner's course? Like, what if we had this, like people who wanted to play? So I kind of put the all call out and got my inbox blew up. Like people slid into those.
Apparently
DMs.
a lot of people want to play D&D that aren't playing D&D.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, Nina.
Hi, Nina. Oh my gosh.
So we're having a crash course, beginner's course for how to play D&D. So I need your help, peoples. I need you to show up to this channel
This Thursday,
8 o'clock Eastern, because I want you to cheer on all of these brand new players who are going to be playing the training level and who have
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be cheering them on from the table. I'll be at the table, but everybody else at the table is a newbie.
Everybody has never
played D&D 5e, and I think most of them or all of them have never played D&D. I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
We've got a bunch of newbies, and we've got people who also kind of want to be newbies remotely, like they live far away, but they want to do this too. So we're also setting some plans in motion.
D&D 101 with Professor McCoy.
I know, it's amazing. We're setting plans in motion to be able to do this remotely too, and to do like a newbie one shot from far away with people with webcams and things. So
yeah,
we've got fun things coming up. I'm really, really excited.
I'm totally digging on this Professor
McCoy's class.
101.
Oh, look at you. You're like D&D 101 guy.
But we'll do a picture of me holding an apple that's really a mimic and it's got teeth on it and something.
Yes. You need like one of those, the British professor with the little arms.
This idea is growing on me. D&D 101 with Professor McCoy. So we're going to be doing this, and we have a whole bunch of newbies. So if you guys have the chance to come in and tune in on Thursday at 8, we'll also have something that will allow you. Thank you, Plaster Dragon, for the host. We'll also have an ability for you to assist them with certain challenges. Some of you have played my training level before, so you will.
I don't know who's what. Huh?
But I will try to design some more training levels so that people of all ages can join Professor McCoy's D&D 101 class for beginners.
Oh my gosh.
It should be a good time. And then we cycle back around to Sunday Fun Day with
Sunday
more
Fun Day.
games
Yep.
and things like that. So it should be a really good weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
There is a training level because he created a training level. Yes.
Yeah.
One Big Uno was a part of his
I
training
took
level.
Professor McCoy's class last year. He is amazing.
Oh my gosh. If only all classes could be as exciting as McCoy's training level D&D.
I think more people would be in school.
Yeah, I know. If only D&D was school.
Only D&D were school. It's math.
It's true. It's
theater.
What does the sign say? I don't know what sign. What sign are you talking about? What sign? I'm so confusing.
I'm a barbarian. And
I didn't spell the skill points to know how to read. What's it say? I'm so confused right now.
That's from the training level.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So join us for that. That should be a fun
Yes,
time
it'll be
in
fun.
the Indigo Playroom.
And we've got all sorts of exciting things happening next week.
Did I already forget what's happening next week?
Next week.
What's happening next
We've
week?
got like people in town. Is that next week? No, is that the
No,
week after?
this coming week and
That's-
stuff
yes,
like that.
I know.
We've got some special
We've got
guests
fun
coming in town and
things
stuff
happening.
like that. Lots of fun, boost and things like that we're constantly trying to make this a fun channel for everybody to hang out with and be a part of. So it's tonight's show where we play Truth or Dare with you two.
He actually considered doing a bits thing that was Truth or Dare, and I was like, I'm so scared. You can't do that. I'm scared.
What do we want to do? Do we want to
I don't know. We can
100 for boop on the snoot, but
I don't know.
200 for Truth or Dare?
Yeah, but what if they dare us to do something inappropriate?
It's
Jeez.
just you and me here.
I don't know. I'm so scared. Some of them are way too creative.
All of them are way too creative.
Yeah.
We surround ourselves with creative people.
And they're scary sometimes with how creative they are.
So, speaking of creative, we're going to be...
This game,
Go ahead.
there are stories behind this game. This game is a game. Okay, some of you remember my lovely sister, who is the artist who was on Creative Chaos. Actually, our first Creative Chaos. She was the one who drew that picture that I have over there that I could bring over, but I'm not going to. But anyway, so she and her friends made up this game. I don't even know how many years ago, and it combines all these games, some of which I've heard of, and some of which I've never even heard of.
Do you want me to say this?
The games it combines. Some of you may have heard of some of these games. There's apparently a card game called Bullshit. There's a card game called Ricoculous. And there is a card game called Asshole. I didn't know this.
Your voice got so quiet every time you cursed.
I'm like, but anyway, so they combined these three games and then added some other rules and made up this game, which we call short form Ricoculous. But it actually has a longer title that we don't generally use that I can't even say on stream because I'm too embarrassed to say it on stream.
Okay, so the full title, of this game, and if you have virginal ears, please close your ears now. Earmuffs, kids. The full title of this game is "Shit on My Face and Suck My Cocculus Asshole."
And there's actually a comma after cocculus but
we call it Ricoculous.
Yes, so we call it Ricoculous. It's actually not that hard to play, but this game has gotten us through, like, when we went on our honeymoon in Europe, we played this constantly. This is our, like, standby, we're going to a bar, and drink beer and play this game.
The first time we went out, when we had kids, we went out to the bar, and we just had drinks as an adult. We played this game. And so this game has a special place in my heart. So we're going to teach this game to you guys right now, and then maybe the next time we all get together, we can play.
We can totally play this game. Have we ever played this game with more than 2 people?
We've played it with 3 people, and it got super chaotic and way more cutthroat. Like when you and I play, we get into a rhythm, but with like more than 2 people play, and it turns into like. Fuck you.
That's
like,
true. He's called me a lot of names, though, to be fair, with just the 2 of us playing. He's called me...
I've called you names?
Yeah, the bad words are done for now, Mazel. Until we start playing, and I make him pick up a crap ton of cards, and then he's probably going to say more bad words.
I'm not the only one who says bad words when playing this game.
Do you want to fight?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You would win.
So anyway, so the only things you have to know, and this is not super important to remember. I mean, if you want to play it, it is. But while you're dealing, I can talk about the cards.
Sure.
So certain cards mean certain things. So 2, like any 2, it doesn't matter whether it's spades or whatever. Any 2 is to restart whatever you're on. You're either going up in cards or down in cards. Like ace is.
No, 2
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, ace is 5. That's right. 2, 3.
3 is mirror.
No. I was trying to remember like the loop around. Mm-hmm. Okay. 3 mirrors. 3 basically says same thing. And 9 reverses the order that you're going in, and then 10 clears the deck, which is a good thing. 10s are good, and you play again. Let's make sure all of these are on. Yeah, they're all on screen. Okay, we're good. And okay,
yes, Oswald, you can uncover your ears.
Yes. So essentially, these cards that are here, the 3 face down and the 3 face up, aren't going to be used until the very, very end of the game, or at least when you're all done with all of your cards. So you do have the chance to change them out with things that you have in your hand. So yeah, and here, let's see. Now, of course, he can just look over and see exactly what I have, but it's not going to matter anyway. All right, so I'm going to see 4 is a super low card. It's like the lowest you can get because 2s and 3s are like wild cards. So those are actually not bad to have, but having two low and 1 high.
So the purpose of the game.
Scary.
Purpose of the game is to get rid of all of your cards, go through the entire deck of cards, and do that before the other person is able to get rid of their cards.
To get rid of all your cards.
So
okay, so what I'll do... Yes, it's really... Wait, how... It looked like Scribe just walked off the set of The Sandlot?
The Great Bambino! You don't know The Sandlot.
No. I don't... Movies are hard.
We're going to play this game
a lot of movies.
Forever.
Okay, so what I'll do, I guess I should switch to the big screen at some point, but I'm not going to right now. Okay. No, maybe I'll switch to the big screen. There we go. Look at that. See?
Smalls.
There we go. Look. Okay, so first we go up. First up. So 5, 6, 7. So anything that's higher than a 5. Okay. And then he pulls. You always have 3 in your hands. That's higher than a 5.
Who hurt you?
Well, that was all I could play. Deal with it.
Okay, I'm gonna play a special card. Oh, that camera's doing a weird like.
It is. Oh, it's doing the funny focus thing. Yeah. Okay, if it's doing too funny focusings, we'll just stop and go back to us.
So
you are lowering,
so
we're reversing. Oh, and it doesn't circle back around. So like once it gets to ace, like at some point somebody's going to have to pick up all the cards. So aces are scary. Okay, so we're lower than a king. Lower than 4. Haha! Sorry, not sorry. So if you can't play, you have to pick up all the cards. But he got a 10, so he got to get rid of them.
We're still at lower.
Lower than a 7? Mm-hmm. Lower than 4.
Lower than a 4.
Mirror. Lower than a 4.
I cannot go lower than a 4.
So he had to pick up all the cards.
Blood.
So it's my turn, and it's lower than anything. Lower than an ace.
So yeah, The Sandlot is one of the greatest, if I would say, in the top 3 baseball movies of all time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is not liking focusing on these cards. Look how annoying that is.
That's super.
It's annoying. Like pulsating. Okay, we're gonna switch back to this one. People can see it in the corner. That's fine.
Yeah. So it's like it's.
Yeah, it's still like boom, 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 boom.
This is like a dread. Oof. Yeah, it's one of the top 3 baseball movies of all time.
It's lower than an 8 to me?
Yes. Can you name the other in my top 3 baseball movies of all time?
Me?
Yeah.
Can you guys name the others in his top 3 baseball movies?
Top 3 baseball movies of all time. Sandlot is definitely in the top 3.
Oh, what's the with the girls and the?
There's no crying.
Yeah,
there's no crying in baseball.
That's one of them.
Field of Dreams is in the list.
League of Their Own. Yeah. And I was gonna guess Field of Dreams next.
Stop crying.
Okay, lower than a 5.
Yeah.
Higher than a 5.
Lower than a 5.
Oh, lower than a 5. Crap. Clear. Restart.
Nailed it.
Lower than a king.
You did nail it. Ooh, let's talk about more like lists of movies.
Yes.
That's something you can totally do.
Like all-time favorites, like lists of movies, like favorite childhood movies. Let's go with that.
Angels in the Outfield is really
that was a good movie too.
You know what? I'm also a fan of Rookie of the Year. Anybody watch Rookie of the Year? Did you ever see that?
I feel like I did.
It's a weird premise. This kid like breaks his arm, but it heals like this, and like his arm muscles get really tight, so he can pitch like a major league pitcher. I just remembered being a kid and being.
Maybe I didn't see this. Wow.
I remember being a kid watching this movie, and at one point his arm goes down like this, and he like hits the doc in the nose, and he goes, "Funky butt lovin'." The doctor says like, "Funky butt lovin'," and the kids are like, "Did you just say funky butt lovin'?" Like, it's really weird.
But watched different movies as a kid.
We did watch different movies.
Dark Crystal. Oh, when she stretches her wings out, and he's like, "You've got wings," and she's like,
that movie creeps me out.
It wasn't creepy.
That movie's right.
They were scary though. The things. What were they called? I don't remember. You guys will remember what they were called. They were scary.
That movie and Labyrinth still creep me out.
So Labyrinth creeps you out? I mean, yeah, it's got creepy
when
parts.
They take
the heads, yeah, that was creepy.
The hands and the wall.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Of course, I have wings. I'm a girl. Yes, that part. Yeah. Skeksis. You're correct. Another movie that scared you? Oh, gosh, who did I know that was like terrified of E.T.? Like E.T. like seriously screwed her up. Yeah, but yeah, like it was when he was laying like dead in the river at the end that like really messed me up. But,
Willow's a good pull. I like Willow.
Oh yeah.
Never Ending Story creeped me out.
I love I read the book, and the book was really cool because they did the at least in the version I had, they did when Bastian is reading you're in Bastian's world versus like Never Ending Story world, they had it in different color text.
Audie with Labyrinth is the best. How dare you? Labyrinth is such Audie's
Labyrinth
aesthetic.
is amazing. I love Labyrinth so much. I used to be able to recite the entire like thing that oh gosh, I can't even start it out now. The entire poem. I used to be able to recite that whole thing.
I don't hate all of Labyrinth, and I think it's a great flick. There are scenes from that movie, them taking off their heads, like
yeah, that was creepy.
and the hands in the wall.
Oh wait, we're lower than a 6,
lower
right?
Than a 6. Any David Bowie
higher than a 6
is my aesthetic. Yes. Yes. There is no such thing as bad David Bowie.
Oh, see, there was a king, and I married that king, and he didn't have something higher than a king, so he had to pick up all the cards. I just figured I'd make them aware of it.
Thank you.
So they could understand the facial expression that you were making right now. Because I'm good at explanations.
It's me, Space Bowie.
David Bowie's trousers in a kids movie.
Nina's right. That dude was, yeah. He was like pointing towards people.
I feel like it's cheap to have Princess Bride as like favorite movie from my childhood, but it totally is. Because everybody says that, but I truly feel it.
I have a good Princess Bride story.
Really?
I have a really good
higher than a
Bride
6
story. Back when I was working at Universal Studios, and I don't work there anymore, so I can tell this story. The Skippers used to have their own specialty shows where they would do special shows for people, like if their family coming on the boat and stuff like that.
Oh, I know this story.
My signature show.
So I should probably mention just for a second here that if he had like 3 7s and put them down, 4 of a kind works the same as a 10, and you can clear the whole thing, but he couldn't do that.
Get rid of everything.
Yep.
But we all used to have these signature shows that we used to do, and my signature show was the Princess Bride show, where I would do the entire skipper spiel on the Jaws ride, but I would see how many Princess Bride references I could fit in without making people go, hey, wait a second, that's a Princess Bride, until I got to the very end, because like it was like stuff like where the shark would pop up, and I'd be like, you know, like inconceivable, like, you know what I mean, like we need to stop the boat this minute. Anybody want a peanut? Like just weird stuff. And then it got to the very end, and my coup de grace was I'd cock the grenade launcher. This is how ridiculous my life was. As a teenager,
the left hand. Like
I would cock the grenade launcher, and I'd look at the shark, and I'd be like, my mom always told me, never mess with a Sicilian when death is on the line. And grenades would fucking water and burst. And like that's when like somebody in the back would get it, and they'd be like, oh, Princess Bride, nice. Yeah.
Yay. That's awesome.
No, it's not. It's ridiculous. Did you put that 3 down?
Yeah, I did. It's higher than a king to you.
No, it's lower than a king.
Yay, good, because I didn't have anything higher than a king. And you can also put down duplicates, because I've got 2 jacks, so I'm just going to put down 2 jacks and get rid of 2 cards.
We used to have fun doing these Jaws shows where everybody had their own signature thing until somebody went on the real world and did they used to jump off the boat at a certain point, like, and just run on the island, and the boat would just kind of go by itself. So they got caught. They started busting everybody on their secret shows.
Yeah,
so.
I guess I can kind of tell Universal stories now too, since I don't work there anymore, huh?
You can.
Yeah, I was the first female to drive Ecto 1 at Universal Studios. That's like, I've got that to my name. That's pretty exciting. I was actually the first female in a Ghostbusters jumpsuit in the park.
Oh.
Because there were several of us cast at once, but they had somebody call in, and somebody needed to go out there, and so they threw me in at the last minute. And they hadn't ordered the girls' jumpsuits yet, so all they had were the guys' jumpsuits. So even the smallest ones were just baggy, I had the thing rolled up at the sleeves and the legs and bunched up as a belt. It was insane.
Did Bustin' make you feel good?
Bustin' did make me feel good. And this is when we could get away with all sorts of stuff, like, that they couldn't do in later years, probably because people got hurt or something, where, you know, we'd tear around at the time the boneyard was there, we'd tear around the boneyard, and, is it still doing the funky focus thing? Yeah. Hanging off the ladder, and some of them, like, drove scarily, like too fast, unsafely fast, to where I have like my arms looped through the ladder and my legs looped through the ladder.
You really want to tell this story? You want to tell this story?
Oh my gosh, it was frightening, but so much fun. Oh my gosh, we could hang on to the back and ride on the back. We could ride on the top in those days. It was amazing. Hi, Gypsy.
Hi, Gypsy.
So yeah,
all of our favorite people in one spot.
Oh my goodness. Story time with Indigo and Scribe. It's totally story time. Yeah, we've got all sorts of universes, because like I did stilt walking there. That's where I learned to stilt walk. I did Ghostbusters. I did VIP tours. I did fuzzy characters. I did Fear Factor. I got to make all the gross drinks that people had to drink, because they had actually they still do. They have a male and a female kind of host. There's like a host and a producer, but they both host the show. So I got to make all the gross drinks and make people drink them. It was fun. What are you doing? Oh, trying to get it to stay focused on the bottle instead. I know. I don't know why it's doing this.
It's weird.
Are we still going up or down?
I think we're going up.
Up?
Down.
Yeah, this is down. Okay. Queen. Lower than a queen.
Lower than an 8.
Ooh, okay, so we're getting towards the end here, because we've got lower than an 8 to me, so I say lower than a 5. Once I get rid of my cards, and I only have 2 left, and he can't see what they are, because he can't see that thing right next to me, which he can see totally. Okay, so
Indigo worked at Universal as a ogre princess for a period of time.
Yes, we're not going to say exactly which one, but she wore green.
But it was great because there was a period of time in our lives where she was an ogre princess and I was a noble.
He was an ass. And he was also a donkey.
I was going to say noble steed.
A noble steed, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, call me a noble steed. Ass. Yeah, but we got to work together a few times. It was great.
Did.
A lot of times for like special events, we got to hang out because nobody else would take that shift, and it was fun. I got to wear my own clothes, and you had to dress up.
And I had to dress up, but that's okay. It was pretty simple. It was just like a dress and shoes and a wig. So, yay.
I'm gonna clear.
That's smart.
And restart. I like the jokes, didn't you? Yes.
Okay, so we're at lower than anything to
Lower.
me? And you just got rid of your last card?
I did.
What? Okay, lower than anything. We're going lower than a crap ace.
Okay, I'll go lower than a 4.
Okay. Shit. Lower than anything.
I'll go lower than anything.
Oh, this is bad.
This is not bad.
No, this is bad.
But I had fun being a noble steed. I also got to do the voice of a mystical fountain that talks to people and squirts people with water.
Oh, you said lower than a queen.
Higher than
You
a
are
queen.
so about to win right now. Crap. Give me those cards. I'm going to shuffle. You tell your story while I shuffle the cards.
I don't really have any good.
Didn't you just start to tell a story?
Well, no, I had a blast working at Universal.
I loved it. It was amazing.
Universal was great. I had a lot of fun at the Jaws ride. Had a lot of fun being an ass. Had a lot of fun.
And working at Universal.
And
it just doesn't get old.
It doesn't get old. And then, I think it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. Like all those little like roles and stuff like that. People who work in theme parks, like there's I mean, I skipped the whole like Indigo did character work, like the big. Like,
I started there like way back when. I started there like I started at the bottom doing character, and which isn't really like I think of starting at the bottom, but I mean there's so many people who work there for years just wanting to do that because like so I was really lucky to get to start out there. And it was such an amazing college job. It was so nice to be able to, on my breaks, get schoolwork done and things. And it was fun. It was hot. In Florida, that work is hot.
Can I ask a random question? It
Sure.
doesn't have anything to do with Universal. Anybody have movies or TV shows from your childhood that you remembered watching, but now you can't find?
Like you can't
find
it anymore.
Like I remembered watching this movie about. It was like I want to say it was the dad from Growing Pains.
Okay.
Or maybe Family Ties.
I've got a show like that, not a movie like that.
But it was but he had like a son that was a robot. Or like a cyborg, and like there was like 2 or 3 movies where like, and I don't want to say that they were made for TV movies, but they may have been.
A TV show called Reboot?
I know this show. This is the computer. It was like the first like major CGI. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Where they had to like enter games and stuff like that.
I don't remember that one.
Wow, you're really good at shuffling.
Sarcasm?
Dude, Kirk Cameron
wasn't me as the robot son.
Oh my God. I don't know if it was Kirk Cameron. I don't think it was Kirk Cameron, but the guy looked like Kirk Cameron.
I watched a show called Small Wonder.
That's a show.
Where
the alien.
Yeah,
she
where
could stop
she was a
time.
girl. No, she was a robot, wasn't she?
Or maybe she was a robot.
Small Wonder. Like she was a robot.
But she had something where she could do something.
Something where she could do something, probably. I'm sure she could do something.
You know
I don't
what I mean?
know what you're talking about.
No, she had this like ability or something like that where she could do
robot things.
She could do robot things. We both had shows about robots from our childhood. That God, we are nerds.
No, my show was, and maybe there are people who will have heard of this. In the afternoon, and we didn't watch a lot of TV growing up. Like we couldn't. But in the afternoon, my sister and I worked it out so that there were a couple shows that There was a show that I really liked.
Yes.
And there were a couple.
Chris knows this show.
And a dad would have to look inside of his chest or his forearm to do updates or
Yes.
something.
One Big Uno knows this show.
This is a real show.
I swear to God, it's a real show. But I
Oh, oops! I never gave you cards.
That's all right. I got cards. What is this show? I never was able to find it.
In the afternoons, there was a lineup, and the first show in the lineup was a show called Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Do you remember this show? You wouldn't remember
the
this
cartoon?
Show. It was a cartoon. It was a lineup of cartoons. It was Jace and the Wheeled Warriors.
There was like a hard rock
and
intro.
And then it was, I can't remember, there was Thundercat,
Silverhawks.
And one more. It was a lineup of 4 shows in a row.
Frick. I didn't know you watched cartoons. You just got hotter.
I didn't watch many, but I love Jason the Wheeled Warriors. And I love Jason the Wheeled Warriors because there was a girl on it named Flora who could talk to plants.
No wonder you've got like 3 druids.
And I loved her character.
I love that movie.
So
I can never
much.
find it and used to watch it all the time. Chris, maybe this is why we get along so well, pal.
You guys liked all the same movies.
Ugh.
Kids. Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
That's so funny. We gotta find these movies.
And the other set that we watched later after, because that got canceled and other things, but the Disney Afternoon, the 4 Disney Afternoon ones. Did you ever watch? This may age me too much.
Tailspin.
But it was
Rescue Rangers,
Tailspin,
Gummy Bears,
and
Darkwing Duck.
No, it wasn't Darkwing Duck. It was DuckTales. DuckTales, woo!
Yeah.
Tales of Daring. That one, yes.
That was a good lineup.
Yes.
I loved Baloo and Tailspin.
Wait till your father gets home?
No. That sounds...
Is that the name of a show?
That sounds incredibly ominous.
Wait
your
till
father's
your father
a
gets
vampire.
home. Well, it's like everybody was watching... Are You Afraid of the Dark? My sister was obsessed with Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Part of my fear of clowns stems from that.
Really?
The kid goes into a fun house and he steals the red nose from the clown. And the clown follows him home and starts stalking him. It's terrifying.
Okay, this is a random pull, but you know what show I loved? And this is nothing like any of the shows that we talked about before. No, because you're never going to guess it.
I can guess.
This is a Nickelodeon show.
I can guess.
And
if I guess, I want a kiss on the cheek.
Oh gosh. Then I'm not telling you anything else. Nickelodeon show, go.
Knowing you. And the movie is Not Quite Human. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Chris, we need to have a movie night.
Movie night.
Robot something, Not Quite Human. I submit for the approval. Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. You're never going to guess this. This is so random.
Saturday nights.
I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of shows I liked on Nickelodeon, but the one that I'm thinking of...
I get one guess.
But it's too hard there. I did love that show, but what I was thinking of, the hint that I was going to give you is game shows. I loved, and nobody's heard of this, but you're about to say it.
Legends of the
Hidden Temple. Oh my God, you're totally about to say it.
You had to make the golden monkey statue.
Gosh, I love Legends of the Hidden Temple. But yeah, I love Roundhouse too. I love that opening song and closing
down
song.
The roundhouse.
Whenever my life gets me so down, I know I can go down. It was like the cool Mickey Mouse Club. It was.
I got in trouble for watching Roundhouse.
Really?
Because they had a song called Sex Education.
Really?
And my parents are like, what are you watching? And I was like, I'm watching Nickelodeon. And I was like, oh, cool. What is this one? I was like, oh, you guys would love it. It's like the kids do musical numbers and cool stuff like that.
It was like SNL meets Mickey Mouse Club.
Tell them the legend today, Olmec. Not Quite Human,
1987 television film directed by Stephen
Alan Thicke was the dad.
Oh my gosh. Miss Audie, you are totally getting bonus points tonight or something.
Audie, I'm giving you inspiration as Bob tomorrow. It's gonna be great. As soon as you said Nickelodeon show.
Oh.
Okay, that show was good.
Okay.
There was another game show on Nickelodeon that they used to play in tandem with that one.
Not you can't do that on television. That's too easy. Because Double Dare. I love Double Dare.
No.
I don't know.
You would not have been interested in this one. I don't even remember the name of it.
Oh.
But it's the one Ruben was on. The video game one. Like the last thing you could do is you got to like be in a video game and like jump around.
Yeah, and see,
like,
as a kid, I would have been like, no, put me in Legends of the Hidden Temple where I can like climb stuff and swing around stuff.
Nick Arcade?
Double Dare.
Might have been Nick Arcade.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Double Dare too, but it was kind of messy. I would have rather been on Legend of the Hidden Temple.
You would have been so good.
I would have been so good at that show.
Nick Arcade.
That show so much.
That was
They
it.
actually came out. They did auditions at some of the local schools when Nick was
for
here.
Legends?
For some of the different shows. I don't know if they ever came out to our school for Legends, but there were some kids from our school that got on. I don't remember which the game show was, but we got to go be in the studio audience.
Cool.
Like, and they came, but they would go to different schools and then they would audition the kids and then pick kids to be on it. Because honestly, it was brilliant. It got more viewers.
I tell you that the caves where they filmed the Goonies is in Santa Cruz.
No.
Like
that's
awesome. Where I like kind of grew up in high school and stuff like that. So.
Meowdith went to a taping of Double Dare. That's awesome. I learned how to make because one of the many jobs I did at Universal is I did tours of Nickelodeon Studios, and that was when it was an active studio. So we would come in, and I was a backup person. I was working in another department, and then they would call me and be like, "Somebody called in. We need you over here." And I'd get over there, and I'd have to figure out what was like. I'd have to look at the sheets to figure out what was filming in the different studios, and so I would have to learn a script that morning to go out and like talk about what was happening. Like there were new pieces to the script that I had to insert, and it was so incredibly stressful.
Tiger Lily, I run into Legends of the Hidden Temple cosplayers at Dragon Con every year.
Seriously?
I would totally see that.
I didn't know people would even still remember that show.
I would say you'd have to be 2 contestants and one of the temple guards that would run out and like chase you unless you had an ambulance.
Amazing.
No.
But yeah, so it was super stressful, but it was a lot of fun. And we had to make slime, and we had to make, what is it? Gack. Like we had to learn how to make all those things. And they've changed it since. And like when Nickelodeon does stuff in other places now, it's made of something more like better than this. But at the time, all of the slime was made with applesauce. It was like green colored applesauce. And so the room where everybody cleaned up afterwards after getting this stuff dumped on their head, just always smelled of stale.
I love seeing the set for Come and Let's Play Together in the bright sunny weather. Let's all go to Gullah Gullah Island.
A friend of mine that I worked with at Universal was Binya Binya.
Gullah Gullah.
Like he was amazing. He could do like backflips in costume and all sorts of stuff.
Thank you for the cheer.
Aw, thanks, Scope. Yeah, like he was spectacular. He could do stuff in that costume that I couldn't believe. Like,
okay, so we talked about shows from childhood and stuff like that. Did you have any book series that you were like totally
Secret
into?
Garden. I was addicted to The Secret Garden. I would read that book over and over and over and over, and still will not to this day read it aloud to kids because I can't do accents and I cannot speak the words of that book the way they deserve to be spoken because I cannot do those accents.
I read a lot of fluff. Like,
there was a boop. We didn't realize that it was 100, like a boop 100. You get a boop. Who's gonna boop?
Who's gonna be the booper and who's gonna be the
Who's
boopy?
The
boopy? Shaboopy. The girl who's hard to get. Squeeze out one where she is and looking. Give a squeeze back. That's fancy cooking. One small for a pop. Proper. She will never get sold.
Okay, wait. So, did you put down that 4?
I did.
Okay, so
Where's
I'm
my
married
boop?
to 4.
Will. I'm gonna boop.
Oh, all right.
Okay, ready?
Be nice.
3. You have to. Please, a little decorum,
yes,
please.
I'm
little
trying.
decorum.
I'm trying. You're doing this so slowly.
Come and let's play together in the bright sunny weather. Let's all go to boop.
Oh my god.
5 more boops!
No!
You want to take one? You can take one.
No, you can have them. They're for you. Are they for him? We should find out.
I don't think we need to find out. Scientists are still unsure. Animorphs. Did you ever read any of the Animorphs?
I didn't really I was aware of them, but I didn't really read them.
Payback boobs.
Payback boobs. Oh, but see, so is it 500 and the 200? This is just going to turn into a poop stream.
Boop war.
Boop. Boop. Oh, sorry. I booped too hard.
Oh my god, I kind of liked it.
I think that was more than 5. I'm going to need a lot more beer. Oh my god.
Animorphs. Goosebumps.
I did boop too hard.
You booped too hard.
Challenging son. That's another boop. I'm taking that one, Scope. I get another boop. Burp. Nitro's asking if we need a room. This is not us. We did not determine that. I guess we decided, but the boops were not initiated by us.
Meow, The Secret Life of Alex Mack. Do you remember that?
I did not watch that. I remember that being on, but
Scope, you're amazing. Sure.
Yeah, and this is why they won't play Truth or Dare. I know, because you guys are mean. You guys will come up with stuff that
right now, the sexual boop tension.
So much booping.
Secret Life of Alex Mack is good. Okay, you ready for this?
What?
I had weird movies that I liked growing up. Like, movies that were not the archetypical, like, kids.
Like, why are boobs only on the nose? Well...
Those are extra.
There's something called Twitch TOS, and, Oh, well, I know one of them.
What?
Duck Soup.
Duck
Right?
Soup, the Marx Brothers.
Yeah.
That's one. My second one... and I still hold on to it to this day as like one of my favorite movies, and it's not a traditional Billy movie. I don't even know if you know this about me.
Okay.
You want some hints?
Yes.
Steve Martin.
Okay. Which one?
Martin Short.
Oh, you know I'm bad at naming movies. I can go, oh, it's that movie with, the one with Steve Martin and Martin Hurst. No, just tell me.
Father of the Bride.
Oh, yeah.
I have a soft spot in my heart.
Booper the
I regret
Pooper.
it as I type, but that was the worst kid show on Nickelodeon.
Booper the Pooper.
Booper the Pooper. It was a really bad show.
It's a book about this really smart kid, and he was researching fairies, and I can't remember what it was. Ooh, I don't know. There was a book that like nobody on this stream is ever going to have heard of, ever. But I feel like this book has been done in movies plenty of times without even knowing. Like two of my favorite books as a kid, nobody's probably read. One is the Girl with the Silver Eyes.
Oh no, Audie, you might be talking about Artemis Fowl.
Oh yeah, maybe. But it's a premise that's been done. It's like all these kids that were born, all their parents were working at a research place or something like that, and all these kids were born with silver eyes, and they all had like unique powers.
Yes. Oh my God, wait a second. But it wasn't just kids. Like there were other people too that had.
I don't remember now. Like I have this book somewhere. Like I've hidden it, but I've never seen it since.
Because her grandfather like had the ability, like he would go feed pigeons in the park.
No, I think this is different.
This is a different.
But I feel like this premise has been done.
On my dream board, I have the wedding photo from Father of the Bride as motivation to lose weight.
Oh
so
my
I can be there for my daughter's wedding.
Oh.
Shit just got real.
Oh.
Hey, Nitro, I'm gonna send you a virtual boop because that was really sweet. Boop. Boop. Heartfelt boop from me to you.
Heart boop.
Oh my God. Heart boop.
Heart boop. Boop.
We just invented the heart
This
boop.
is a thing. It's a heart boop now.
If somebody does something really genuine and sweet, we have to be like,
Yeah.
heart boop.
Boop. Oh my gosh, this is a paragraph. Who'd rather read a book than deal with other people. Other people don't have silver eyes. Oh my gosh, you found this book. Other people can't make things happen by thinking about them, but these special powers make Katie unusual. It's hard to make friends when you're unusual. This is the book. Oh my gosh, you found it. I have to get another copy of this book somewhere.
Because I want to read it now.
Oh my gosh. And the other one that was like my favorite book that nobody's ever heard of, but I read it over and over and over, was a book called Goodbye Pink Pig.
Goodbye Pink
And
Pig.
it was about this, it was almost akin to like Indian in the Cupboard.
Okay.
You know, where the little things come to life. But this was a little miniature rose quartz pink pig. And somehow, gosh, it's been so long since I've read it, but like she went into its world and like all the little miniatures, the little collection of miniatures she had, and I get made fun of for how I say miniatures all the time, so I'm aware. But she went into the world where all these like miniatures lived, and and it was just this great book. And I had this whole collection because of this book. I grew like really attached and fond of miniatures, and I just had my own collection of them.
I don't remember reading that, but I do remember reading.
It's an obscure book. Nobody's ever heard of it.
Did you ever read Interstellar Pig?
No.
Interstellar Pig is not what it sounds like.
He leaned into the screen for his boob.
Oh, buddy. Whatever it was called, Uglies. And it was a dystopian future book.
About kids who are told they're ugly and gross till they turn 16. Oh, I read this book.
She did read this book.
Yes, I got on this dystopian kick like 2 years ago during the summer, and I read everything that was out there that was especially like YA dystopian fiction, because I was just...
I'm going to have to go back and look through the shop because these books sound good.
Oh my gosh.
I liked Inner Planet That's Schoolhouse Rock, I think, buddy. Interstellar Pig was this kid on summer vacation. He's staying in a cabin and... The Giver's good.
I am obsessed with The Giver. I have all of like older children that I work with. That is a standard book that we read and we talk about. I am obsessed with that book. The sequels I did not like as much, but that book is so good.
The kid goes and he's on like summer vacation, and he goes and to his neighbors that just moved, just kind of rented the cabin down the lake, and it turns out they're aliens, and they're playing this board game called Interstellar Pig, where you choose a card. It's like D&D. You choose your character card, and then you actually turn into that particular alien. It was the coolest thing, and I guess it was my introduction to D&D, to tabletop game. I'm just realizing this now.
Higher than a 6.
Wow. Okay. Let's rebuttal to your Interstellar. Thank you for your rebuttal.
Interplanet Janet.
Interplanet
Janet. The rebuttal. Higher than an 8.
Yeah. But
if you're just joining us and you've never been here before, we do card games and things on Sunday nights. Feel free to hit that heart button. Follow. That's what the button is. Feel free to hit that and hang out with us on other Sundays. We do lots of D&D too, and
but this
probably
is nice.
other things.
We should do this more often.
This is kind of fun.
Hang out, answer questions.
Yeah, talk about your books. It's the heart as well. Higher than an 8. Higher than a king. Sorry, that's what I had. Ooh, higher than an ace. That is a mirror card.
Let's see. Going back to childhood. I was big on the Goonies.
Higher than a queen.
I think I watched the Goonies a lot.
Yeah.
And then I watched Monster Squad as well. Monster Squad was really good. Okay, what about a book you read for school that you really didn't care for?
So this is my how I react to being told I have to do things story. Lower than a jack, right? Lower than a 4. Sorry, not sorry. You had to pick up all those cards? Sorry. Lower than a 7. So I love reading. And I loved reading growing up. Loved reading. Read books all the time. But the second somebody would tell me, and this is kind of the same thing in my adult life, the second somebody told me you have to read this book, that was it. I didn't want to read it anymore. I had no desire to read that book. Completely unmotivated to read that book. So in high school, in one of my classes,
Kick Wolfman and the Nards. That's right. Monster Squad.
So I had to read Gulliver's Travels, which is an amazing book. I hadn't read it at the time, but we all had to read it, and I got burned out on doing books in school, in middle school, because we would spend so long on a book. Sign of the Beaver we had to read in middle school, which is an amazing book, and I recommend it to kids all the time, and I love this book. But I read it the first day that we got it, and then we spent lower than a 7, and then we spent the rest of the semester talking about this frickin' book until I was so sick of this frickin' book, and I just wanted to read 17 more books instead of still talking about frickin' Sign of the Beaver. And so I kind of got burned out on this whole idea of reading the book that I was going to have to talk about for a whole semester because it was irritating. Higher than a 5. So I was told I had to read Gulliver's Travels, and I went out and got the Cliff Notes and did every single assignment in that class on Gulliver's Travels via Cliff Notes. Refused to read the book. Class ended, immediately read the book, loved the book. It was a great book, but would not read it during class.
I don't think I have a book that I was reading that I didn't enjoy, but I do have a book that I was forced to read, wound up enjoying immensely, and then having like sort of a cathartic moment
Really?
reading.
What book?
My Side of the Mountain.
I love that. That's another one that I recommend to everybody. Yeah. I love that book so much.
I wound up living in my backyard for a little bit after I lived
in my backyard
Did
for
you
a whole
really?
summer. A whole summer.
Did you know there's a sequel?
No.
Where he takes his like cousin out there, like a girl
Really?
out there, and you get to see it from her perspective. It's called The Other Side of the Mountain.
I have to read this now.
It's really
I spent
good.
an entire summer camping in my backyard in a tent. It was probably great for my parents because I was a teenager, and so they were probably happy to have me out of the house.
I refused to bring a tent because he didn't have he set up a tarp, so I set up a tarp.
Yeah, well, it was Florida during the summer, so it rained really hard every day.
Oh, mine was mine was Mississippi. It was still pretty humid, but like.
So, Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I've never even heard of this book. Wait, only because it made kids with autism seem very cold and unfeeling. I don't like that.
Books she didn't like.
Books you didn't like it.
No.
Got it. Yeah. Oh, that's I've never even heard of that book.
I had some weird anger reading The Things They Carried, and even attended a reading of it by Tim O'Brien. It was just so awkward the whole time. That's mine. Describe. I'd like you to
meet Indigo. I think you guys have a lot in common. Yeah. Hey, thanks.
I can't believe we both read that book, and
both
sparked us to go outside.
That book.
The diagrams, like all of this stuff. Like
I had a weird obsession as a kid with the concept of running away to live in the wilderness, and I guess maybe a lot of kids do, or maybe very few kids do, and I was one of the few who did.
Yeah.
But I was obsessed with the concept. Not that I actually ever did it, other than living in my backyard, but of running away and surviving in the wilderness.
Living in the wilderness. Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I have a fourth king to put down.
Great. That's awesome.
Means
good.
We can clear these cards out of the way, and I shall put down higher than an ace.
Okay.
Yep. Clear. Restart.
Guys, I think we've made a match.
Thank
you guys so much for getting me hooked up with my wife. That's awesome.
Yay!
Higher than
a jack.
Yeah, God, that's so funny to me. Goosebumps were
lower
after
than
your
a queen.
time.
Yeah, well, and see, I skipped over a big chunk of books. Like I kind of went from like 5th grade level reading books to I'm reading Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
I'm reading. I got in so much trouble for Clan of the Cave Bear.
You were reading pornography in school?
Well, my mom let me read it. It was a good book.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Valley of the Horses and ended up, like, every few chapters I'd have to skip a few pages because it made me highly uncomfortable. But the story was really good, so it was worth just skipping a few pages that made me uncomfortable every so often.
I don't really have the time to read as much now, Audie. When I do, it's always like a book series that I've read before, like the Harry Dresden series, or once a year I read the entirety of the Complete Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've got this sort of leather-bound copy of it, and I read it once a year. So
I read a huge amount of Babysitter's Club, and I also read a huge amount of not just Nancy Drew, but then the Nancy Drew Files, which were like the updated Nancy Drew that they came out with later. And what was the other one? I don't even remember. But yeah. Sweet Valley Twins. And then after Sweet Valley Twins was out, they came out with Sweet Valley High.
What? Was this a thing?
Yes. So it was like Sweet Valley Twins was kind of like along the lines of Babysitter's Club and Nancy Drew Files. It was
Nina, yay for Nancy Drew.
Yay! And it was, but it was, a couple of twins and, being a girl in middle school kind of stuff. And then they came out with a high school version, which was Sweet Valley High.
I didn't know about this.
I read these books.
I read the Hardy Boys, and
Oh, she read it too. See, I'm not the only one.
Sweet Valley High.
I loved Nancy Drew books. Oh, I read all the classics, and then I read all the Nancy Drew Files. I could never get into Hardy Boys though, because people talked about Nancy Drew as girls Hardy Boys, and there were a lot of crossover books where it was Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and I just had no interest in reading about boys solving mysteries. I wanted to hear about girls solving mysteries. And I never read the Hardy Boys.
What about?
Or the Boxcar Children. I never read those either.
That's the one I was going to say. I was like the Boxcar Children.
Yeah, I never read them.
Never really got
like I should now. Now I want to, because they were great books, but at the time I was so into Nancy Drew and all of these other
Did you ever read a book that was outside of your weight class? Like maybe too scary or like too intense, but you were like, no, I got to push through this? I remember the first book I read that terrified me.
Really?
Yeah.
What book?
It was called Salem's Lot. It's a book by Stephen King, but it had to deal with... Encyclopedia Brown.
Oh, I've read Encyclopedia Brown a lot. I still have some of those too. I love them. And Series of Unfortunate Events was a little after my time. And so by the time I got to it, the first one was great. The second one was good, but a little repetitive. And then by the third one, I was like, they're just retelling the same story over and over. Why are they doing this?
Salem's Lot. Yeah. It is terrifying because it dealt with like there's this one scene where like one of the kids gets turned into a vampire, and he just like... There's this whole scene where he's floating outside of his friend's window trying to get him to invite him in.
Oh my gosh.
But he's just like floating outside the window. He's just like the whole,
It was a fun read. Yeah. I don't think you would have done well reading it.
Yeah.
The one that really seriously messed me up.
Reading The Stand, and I was in 7th grade, way over my head.
I read a book called, and this is probably another one nobody's heard of, called A Taste of Blackberries. And if you want to know the plot of A Taste of Blackberries, basically watch the movie My Girl. Seriously, I think that they based the movie on this book.
Yeah.
And so anyone who's seen the end of that, spoilers, although it's such an old movie that I don't think it matters, but it was one of the first books that I read. Gosh, did I read that before or after Where the Red Fern Grows? That also tore me apart, tore me to pieces.
Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah. But that first book that you read where a character that you love dies is just rips your heart and soul apart. I remember walking around just crying spontaneously for 3 days after that book. It destroyed me. Mm-hmm. It destroyed me. So yeah, that one and Where the Red Fern Grows really
Dark Tower series was amazing.
I never read those. I've heard they were amazing.
So good. I feel like the reason my first character was a gunslinger is because of the Dark Tower series.
Seriously?
Yeah. Roland, the gunslinger, so good. So good. It's really good. Stephen King had this overarching thing that kind of combined all of his stories. You ready for an obscure book? Oh, Anne Rice.
Oh yeah, I read all of those. I love those so much.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Okay, but he wrote a book with somebody. I've never met anybody that obsessed over this book as much as I did. It was about a small boy that had this talisman that allowed him to transport to another world, like a fantasy world, and he would but it was over on top of our world, and it was the only book that Stephen King ever wrote with somebody. Nobody I've talked to ever read it, but I read it 80 million times as a kid. I had a dog-eared paperback copy. It was called The Talisman.
Ooh. And we should be making a list of this. We need to go back and watch the VOD later and make a list of all the books.
God, that book was good. I think
Screwtape Letters. I never read the Screwtape Letters.
Oh, that's the one I was telling you about. The Letters to a Demon, an older demon to a younger demon.
Yeah, I read like all the Hobbit series, and like I took Gone with the Wind with me to summer camp one year, to like a week-long summer camp, and basically spent every single break and every single time that we had any free time going back to my little cabin to read Gone with the Wind.
Meowedith, who is the co-author with Stephen King on the book The Talisman? It's like Peter Straw, just whoever. Somebody look up the co-author for The Talisman. It was so good that I think he did a sequel to it. Like, but you would so be into this book, like this little kid that's able to like transport back and forth between worlds and stuff like that. Peter Straub. Yep.
Wow.
God, it's so good. I hope it's as good as it is in my memory. You're at Lower Than a Queen.
Oh, Lower Than a Queen.
But the game
Lower Than Jack.
Kind of mood at this point. Yeah.
Lower Than anything. Lower Than a Queen.
Lower than a 5.
Lower than anything.
Lower than an ace.
Lower than a 6.
Lower than a 6.
Clear. Restart. Oh, you're cleared too, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. And there is a sequel. I forget what the sequel's
Lower than
called.
a 5.
But I read the sequel as well. It's understandable to transition from Tolkien to Lewis. Knowing... Yeah, isn't that cool? Do you guys know that there's a Tolkien biography coming out?
No, I didn't.
Like it's a biopic about his life and stuff like
There's
that.
also a younger kid's Tolkien book, Rover. It's about a dog. I found out about. I can't remember Rover or something. I don't even remember what it was called. But yeah, there's like a younger kid's Tolkien book that he wrote. I found. Wait, that's a higher than a 5.
Tracy
Lower than
Tracy
a 5.
doesn't read graphic novels, but I read Dark Knight Returns probably a couple of times a year.
I find graphic novels really frustrating because they just take so long to get to the story. Like I read the Buffy graphic novels after like the season 9, I guess, after Buffy ended.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, we've just done an entire volume on like 10 to 15 minutes of an episode because I'm having to waste all of this time with the pictures. I just want more story. So I get irritated because I just want to read the story. I just want the story. I don't want to look at the pictures. I want to picture the pictures in my mind. I want to read the story.
No, The Dark Knight Returns is one of those just like seminal works of fiction. Like it's one of the best Batman stories to ever come out of. Like, and more is so higher than that?
Higher than a 5, yes. Higher than a 5.
Lower than a 5.
Lower than a 5. Lower than anything.
Clear. Restart. Lower than
We're going to totally
anything.
win this time. Clear. Restart. Lower than a 7. I won. Okay, so now we're at 1 and 1.
2,000 Leagues Under the Sea. As a kid, made me absolutely fascinated with the sea.
Did any of the local people here go on 2,000 Leagues when it was open at Disney here? Like it's closed now, but
Nitro, I agree, buddy. What about a classic that apparently everyone has read, but you've somehow never read?
oh, jeez. Trying to think about like classics. Like, you know, like I've read Little Women, I've
War and
read
Peace?
Oliver Twist. I did not read War and Peace.
I have not read War and Peace.
Yeah.
Did you read Les Mis?
You know
That's
what? I
a
don't think I read that
Good
one.
one. Les
No.
Mis is good. You never read Moby Dick?
Ooh, I read that one.
There are definitely a lot of graphic novels that are amazing visual experiences. Plastered, I agree, man. Totally. To kill Meowedith.
Ooh.
It's so good. Tracy's never seen the movie.
No, I've never seen that movie.
I keep telling her she's got to watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, all I need is time now.
Hey, boo.
Huckleberry Finn or Oliver Twist. Ooh, I loved both of those so much.
Oh, I think those are ones she hasn't read.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was saying, like, yeah.
There are many that are just too much reading. Not enough payoff, yeah.
Oh, like graphic novels?
Yeah, I mean, the Watchmen series is good. The Green Mile is good.
The Wicked and the Divine.
Audie, I don't know that one. Can you bring it with you tomorrow? You let me
20,000
borrow it?
Leagues Under the Sea, yes.
Nina, one of my favorite parts about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is I loved that book, reading it, and when Indigo and I went to Disneyland Paris, they still have 20,000 Leagues set up. So we got to walk on the Nautilus and see the giant squid attack. And
their like Tomorrowland is all Jules Verne style.
Steampunk.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's gorgeous. I wish our Tomorrowland area was like that.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. And Space Mountain even looks like something created out of a like steampunk-esque Jules Verne novel.
Yeah.
Hee hee. All right. This is the tiebreaker.
This is the tiebreaker?
Yep. We're going to see who wins. All right. 1, 2, 3.
And we're going to watch To Kill a Mockingbird.
What?
No, we're going to watch Umbrella Academy.
Oh my gosh. We have just started watching Umbrella Academy. We're what, like 3 episodes in?
I think we're more
Maybe
than
4.
that. I think we're
I don't
4
know.
episodes
It's
in.
insane. It's insane. And we are staying up later than we probably should be staying up to watch Umbrella Academy because it's so freaking good.
What are you guys watching right now? What are your favorite shows and stuff like that? It's awesome. Nitro. Ugh, it's so good. Makes me really want to do a superhero RPG.
Do we say we shouldn't admit to the other show we're watching, right? We can't admit to the other show we're watching. We're gonna have to because now I've said it.
This is a safe place. We can admit to the other show
Okay.
we're watching. Hang on. I'm going to preface this by saying, like, sometimes they can't all be real good TV.
Sometimes you're watching a show because it's a popcorn show that's just fun to watch.
If you guys are looking for a fun popcorn show,
That's so like WB, like Buffy. No, it's not as good as Buffy. It's good, but it's not as good as Buffy. Like Supernatural.
it's called Siren, and it's about
Such a guilty
mermaids.
pleasure right now. But it's not just like, okay, we were like, okay, we'll see an episode because the main actress is so unusual looking. So we were like, okay, yeah, we'll watch an episode. And then all of a sudden we're both hooked on this show. And we're like embarrassed to admit that we're hooked on the show. It's very like dark. But it's like WB dark. I mean, it's not a WB show, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's very WB dark and angsty.
We have to watch. We got to finish watching Sabrina because we watched that one episode.
Oh,
we were
yeah,
so
that's right.
We were so sleepy. Lucifer is good. I'm glad that's coming back to Netflix. Our shows right now are Outlander.
Oh, I love
Anytime there's an episode of Outlander, we jump on that. We watch Sirens.
And honestly, half of Sirens for me is that lead actress. She's amazing. Like
Orb.
she looks so odd, but she's such a freaking she's a really good actress. And unfortunately, a lot of the other people they keep casting to be opposite her as the other like mermaid people just aren't as strong. And I feel like that's why it sometimes doesn't work. Is because they're not quite as.
I will tell you guys the best show on network television right now is The Orville.
Really? I mean, I love it, but I
On network TV is The Orville.
maybe. I mean, we haven't watched a lot of network TV.
On non-network
so I don't know.
TV, it's a toss-up between Outlander and The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, Handmaid's Tale is so good.
Handmaid's Tale is really good.
So good.
It's so dark that we can't watch that at night.
No.
Like, you gonna deal with 3 cards?
Yeah, I'll deal you 3 cards. I guess.
I guess.
Here.
I'll take those.
All right. We got this. I have dealt myself some crap.
All right.
Doop-a-doop.
So I'll let you play the first card.
Oh, thanks. Oh, do we have to pull another card since it's a wild to start
Schlocky.
with?
What is it?
Shog.
By No Soma.
Soma and Miss Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood are my 2 current shows. No live action at the moment, just caught up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Cool.
We'll just, say lower than anything for this? Sometimes we don't know the rules and we can't look them up because it's not a real game, so we just have to agree on the rules. That's just lower than anything?
Lower than
okay.
anything. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I never watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You would love it. It takes a while to get going, just like The Office and Parks and Rec, but those are.
We have rewatched The Office, Parks and Rec, and 30 Rock. Probably more times than
It might
we
be
can
time
count.
to restart 30 Rock.
Yeah, we haven't rewatched. We've rewatched The Office. We've rewatched Parks and Rec
After we
again
finish
and again and
Umbrella.
again. And yeah, we can restart 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Lower than 4.
4.
Higher than a 4? Higher than 6. Higher than an 8.
Higher than
This is also a fun game because you can kind of zone out and not really have to think about it much. Higher than Jack.
I was watching the older stuff. Oh, really? I kind of like the first one where they were on their honeymoon. Last year. IT Crowd, I've never gotten into. We've never watched that, but
No.
keep hearing stuff about it.
The other one everyone was talking about last season that we never saw was Black Mirror.
I've watched Black Mirror.
I haven't.
You need to watch Black Mirror.
Okay, I guess I
real
will.
Good.
Higher than an ace.
Please stop playing high cards. I just played 3 twos
Higher
in
than
a
a
row.
5. Higher than a 5. Higher than a king. That pile's getting really, really big. Higher than a 7.
Oh my god, please somebody needs to clear this fucking pile.
Higher than a queen.
Oh my god, please somebody clear this pile.
Close your eyes a minute. Okay, open your eyes. Higher than a king. Oh!
You just showed everybody that you had a 10 in your hands, didn't you?
What?
Damn
Why would I do that?
it. Damn it.
Idris Elba's Luther is phenomenal. I haven't seen Black Mirror, so I don't know. I Want It That Way lineup open is one of the best opens of any show.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache.
Okay. Higher than a king.
You'll have to excuse me.
Oh, you're sorting cards. This is where the name calling usually starts.
There'll be time. Would you please talk? And
Words.
I do this all the time for you. You can't do it once for me?
I'm feeling so bad about the amount of cards I made you pick up. That's what's going on. I just feel so terrible about it that I can't think of anything to say. So my latest project has been, I decided that that I wanted to learn guitar because I wanted to for like
Somebody
most of my life. And
really sweet got a guitar.
yeah, somebody really sweet got a guitar. Because I had my dad's guitar. Like, I have some unusual family memories, but my best family memories, I think, are like my dad playing guitar and us sitting around and like singing as a family. So I decided, you know what, it's time. I've been saying I was going to do this for years. I'm going to like download a little Fender app and I'm going to start practicing. And so I've been doing this for 3 days, and I've been doing a lot of practicing over the past 3 days. And my little fingertips right here are so incredibly sore. But the cool thing is, what is this, higher than a king?
You can play one of your 10s.
Okay, I'll play one of my 10s now. There you go. But the cool thing is, on the app that I started playing from, the first chords they teach you are a C, a G, and an A. No, sorry, C, a G, and a D. And I'm playing them at one point. I was playing the G and going, wait a minute. And I played the G into the D and went, I know this song. I know this song. This is a song that my dad played. This is, oh my gosh. And I looked up the chords, and it was Sloop John B. And it's like those 3 chords. Like the entire song is those 3 chords. And I was like, I can play the song that my dad played all the time. And like, I was like I wasn't playing it well, but I could play it. Like I could play all the chords in it. Like I sung it and played it till my voice was hoarse yesterday because it's not written in a key for me. But but it was so cool. So it's been really, really neat. So that's been my new project, is trying to learn how to play guitar. And I'm not very good at it, but then again, I've only had 3 days, so I'll get better after 3 days. But anyway, Sloop John B. Yeah, like he played that one, and Well, I don't give a damn about a greenback $1. Spend it fast as I can for.
I think it's called a greenback dollar. I think
Yeah.
that's we found that out.
Oh, we did look it up.
Day.
That's right. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's my new project. Are we at higher than anything?
You actually played a 10 and then didn't play a card
Oh, I
after
didn't.
you played
Sorry.
one of your 10s?
Where are all your cards?
Because
Didn't you have a bunch of cards?
3 10s in your hand? Clear. Restart.
I only had 2 10s in my hand at the time.
Clear. Restart.
You've got so many groups of 4 cards.
Clear. Restart.
See, look how many cards you're getting rid of. You're welcome. Higher than an 8.
Clear. Nope. Clear. Restart. Clear. Restart. We'll do clear restart of clear restarts.
You don't have to say it that sarcastically every time.
Higher than a jack.
Higher than a jack.
Higher than an ace.
Clear. Restart. Higher than a jack.
Lower than a jack.
Crap. Oh, I get to pick that one up though. That's you.
Higher than anything.
Higher than a jack.
Higher than a jack.
Higher than an ace.
Higher than an ace.
Lower than an ace.
Higher than an ace.
Lower than an ace.
Clear. Restart. Lower than a 5. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for days. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight.
I don't know that you learned how to play a game, but you watched us play it. And hey, you can go back and watch the VOD and see what we were doing that we weren't talking about the whole time.
Yeah. We had a great time hanging out with you guys and learning a little bit about you. We hope you learned. I had a fun time learning about you. Apparently, we read the same book growing up as a child.
Apparently, we did. Oh my gosh!
Completely influenced us and stuff like that. So have a great night.
Yeah.
We love you as always. Indigo, connect with the people in your world, with the people in your life. Talk to us more. Send us cool ideas. Follow us on Discord.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put in all of this info here.
So we can,
here's our Discord stuff, and you can feel free to come hang out. And wow, I apparently can't
Umbrella Academy. Okay. Go
Discord. There you go.
Yeah, follow us on Discord. Give us a follow up top.
Give us a follow up top with a little heart there.
Please, if you have some time this Thursday to come out and support the newbies to D&D and stuff like that.
Oh, it's their first time.
It's their first time, and I would love to have a sort of audience like supporting them and stuff like that. So,
thanks, Meow. It is simultaneous.
Should we do that as we have to?
Yes, except somehow I have to click end whilst. Okay, I can do this. All right. Thank you for joining. Wait here. Audience boop. Boop. Okay, I'm gonna
love you guys. Have a good night.